Hey y'all, thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to be making deviled eggs. To make the deviled eggs, I'm going to be using these ingredients. We're going to go easy today, and I'm going to use pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs. These are very convenient. I'm also going to be using some light mayo. It's 50 calories per serving instead of 100 calories per serving, as regular mayonnaise would have. And y'all, you can't taste the difference, especially when you mix it with stuff, you can't taste it. I'm gonna be using regular yellow mustard, some vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and then salt and pepper. The first thing I'm gonna do is get started cutting up the eggs. And real quick, y'all, if you've never had the pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs, what I love about them is not only are they cooked, but they're also peeled. So you don't have to worry about any of that. They are firmer than your eggs that you would cook yourself. So I'm just gonna cut them down the middle. I'm just going to cut all of them first. Now because these are firmer, they're less likely to fall apart on you as you're trying to cut. I do have that problem sometimes where they'll like start to split. So that just makes it a lot easier to cut. All right, so now you're just going to carefully remove the yolk. And hopefully they all just kind of slide out. I'm just going to leave the yolk in the bowl and then just put the whites in the other container. You want to be careful when you're trying to get the yolks out of the egg white, because that can cause your eggs to split as well. But because again, these are firmer or more firm, however you say it. I don't remember the grammar rule, y'all, and I was a teacher. Isn't that terrible? All right, but anyways, just be careful. If you need to, you can get a spoon to help you dig it out. Or you can just take your fingers and try to push your fingers up underneath the yolk. You might have some yolk that's kind of stubborn and doesn't want to come out, but just get as much out as you can. I wouldn't try to force it out because again, that's when it could split. So, see, that one still has a good bit in there. I could try to use a spoon. Well, there we go. More came out with my finger. And y'all, my hands are clean. So I was actually able to get 10 halves, which equals 5 whole eggs, into this container. So that's awesome. That was 2 more than I thought I was going to get. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to mash up the yolk with a fork. Now, if you like your deviled eggs chunky, you know, you won't do as much mashing, but if you want them smoother and creamier, you're going to want to mash all the lumps out as best as you can. I mean, it's going to be impossible to get all the lumps out, but again, if you want it chunkier, don't mash so much. Now, here is where you're going to have to decide how much of these next ingredients you want. So, if you want a very creamy egg yolk or deviled egg, then you're going to add more mayo. If you want it less creamy, add less mayo. When it comes to that tanginess from like the mustard and the apple cider vinegar, you need to decide, do you want it tangy, a little bit tangy? So this is going to depend on you, and you're going to want to taste test. So when you think you've got what you want, taste it and see if it is right for you. But be mindful, you can always add more, but you can't take it away once you've added it. So I would go slow and add as you need it. So for the mayo, for about 10 eggs here, or I'm sorry, 5 eggs, I'm gonna start with 1/4 cup of mayo, and I'm gonna mix it and then see if I need some more. pack it down in there just to see. All right, that's roughly a fourth, just a little over. So I'm gonna start with that. I hate when you can't get all of it out of the measuring cup. It drives me nuts. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna stir it up, give it a good stir. I think a fourth a cup was just right. Oh yeah. These babies are creamy. Look at that. Now y'all, if you don't care for the ingredients that I'm using, deviled eggs, you can make them so many ways. I've had them with bacon, pickled relish, jalapenos. These are very versatile. You can add whatever you want to add. Green onion would be good. Yum. But my hubby only likes them the way I'm making them, so I'll make them just for him and for us because we like them too. All right, so now that the mayonnaise was added, again, that was a fourth a cup of light mayo. I'm now going to add some mustard, and I'm going to start with a teaspoon. I think, can't see in this light. There's 1 teaspoon. Half a tablespoon just looked like a bit much, so I'm going to start with a teaspoon and add that. And if it's a little more, that's okay. All right. I'm going to use the spoon now since I didn't know if I was going to have to go back into the mayonnaise jar. For something this simple, you're sure to have to use a lot of tools. That's another thing of mine. I hate dirtying so many dishes. All right, so I'm going to, I'll just keep using the fork. All right, I'm just going to stir that in there. All right. I'm going to also use a teaspoon of vinegar. Because again, once you add it, you cannot take it away. So I'm going to start small, and if I need more, I'll add more. You know what? I might do half a teaspoon. All right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with half a teaspoon. Save that right here. Try not to spill it. Okay. And if it's too tangy, you can always add more mayo. That could help. Oh, that is so creamy. Yum. Almost looks like a frosting. Alright, I'm going to add some salt and pepper now. Just a pinch or so, however much you want. Before I spoon this into the eggs, I'm going to taste it. Pepper. I love pepper. It's my favorite seasoning. Oh, I love peppered gravy and just peppered meat and peppered veggies. Oh my gosh. If I had to choose between salt and pepper, I would choose pepper. Okay. My hands are clean. Actually, I think that's perfect. So I used, for 5 eggs, I used a 1/4 cup of light mayo, a teaspoon of mustard, and then half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. That's good. It's got just enough salt and just enough pepper. Man, that's good. I like when I make food that tastes good. Because I've had my mishaps, people, a lot of them. Time for another utensil. All right, so all we're gonna do now is just scoop some out and place it in the eggs. Now, I don't like to go crazy when I'm doing them because I want to make sure I have enough for all of them, and if I have any left over, I will go back and fill in the ones that I think need more. All right, y'all, deviled eggs are done. They smell so good. I think what I may do is I'm gonna add probably just a sprinkle of paprika to the top. That's kind of like a traditional thing that people do. I don't feel that it gives it any flavor unless you might use a smoked paprika, but just a regular paprika. I think it's just for looks, to make them look pretty. But I'm also gonna add some black pepper on top just to make it look pretty and give it some extra flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The paprika may end up covering up the pepper, but yum. I used to not like deviled eggs when I was little, and then once I started trying them, I would only eat the yellow part, and then eventually I just grew to like the whole thing. So all right, let me grab some paprika. All right, I'm just gonna sprinkle. All right, there you have it. Simple, easy, and delicious deviled eggs. All right, y'all, let me know if you tried my recipe, and let me know what you did to your deviled eggs. If you added anything to it or if you left it the same. I'd like to hear from you. All right, bye, y'all. Forgot to tell you this. Make sure whatever container you are storing these in, that the container is high enough so when you put the lid on, the yolk doesn't get smushed up against the lid. I've done that before. All right, y'all. See you next time. Bye. They're not as soft as if you were to hard boil your own eggs. These tend to be a little bit more firmer, or I should say more firm, or firmer. Anyways, let's move on. I taught y'all, but that sometimes grammar just trips me up. Okay, so moving on.